Welcome back to another episode on my channel. I am John O'Brien. Today's episode, I got my tablet out because today is my first of two end of season videos. The Premier League season finished 2 weeks ago. The Champions League, the FA Cup, the domestic club football finished a week ago, and Europe and football entirely finished yesterday after the Champions League final. So with this club season fully over and I was focusing on the Euros in the summer, I am going to be doing a couple of videos. The first video, which is this video here, will be I'll be doing two end of season things. So we've got 3 things to go through in this episode. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my team of the season. Then I'm going to give you my end of season awards. Best player, best young player, manager of the season, signing of the season, underachievers, overachievers, game of the season, best performance, worst performance, best goal of the season, personal favourite goal of the season, best comeback, unsung and unsung hero, and then we'll be grading every Premier League Cup's seasons from F being awful to A, from F minus being awful to A plus being amazing. We're going to start off with my team of the season. This season has been a very successful season, not just for all clubs. Man City winning 4 leagues in a row. Arsenal finishing this season better than they finished the previous season. A three-way title race, and a very, very interesting European race for top 4 for Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. And in the end, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Aston Villa qualified for the Champions League. Spurs and Chelsea qualified for Europa League, and Newcastle qualified for the Conference League. But due to Man United winning the FA Cup, Man United moved into Europa League. Chelsea have gone from Europa League down to Conference League, and Newcastle have no European football to contend with. So in the end, Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, and Villa, Aston Villa will be in the Champions League next season. Chelsea and FA Cup winners Man United, Spurs and FA Cup winners Man United will be in the Europa League next season, and Man United will be in the Conference League next season. And Chelsea will be in the Conference League this season, being pushed from Europa League to Conference League due to Man United winning the F. But not only was the title race and the top 4 battle great, the battle for the battle, like I said, for the European places is also great. And also, not only has the title race, top 4 race, and European race been amazing, the relegation battle has been fun. So this has generally been a really successful season. Unfortunately, my team is top 4 heavy. Only one player in my team is not from the top 4. I just couldn't ignore these 11 players, but I will be giving honourable mentions, and I'll be giving options for each position from clubs that weren't considered. So in goal, there were many options. You could have gone David Raya, who got clean sheets. You could have gone Jordan Pickford for his consistent performances for Everton in a tough season for them. But I have gone with my goalkeeper the goalkeeper in my team this season is Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez. He has been one of the best players in a very good Aston Villa side who have defied all the odds and qualified for the Champions League for the first time in ages. So yeah, I feel like he's been performing really well for a team in Villa who have made Champions League for the first time in a long time. So yeah, I just feel like I had to get edged towards him. But like I said, Ryan Pickford are very good are also good options and good choices. Now on to the back four. Left back was really hard, and left back was between two players. Left back was between Josko Gvardiol and Destiny Udogie. I've edged to Josko Gvardiol at left back because Udogie started out the season really well but fell off. Josko Gvardiol struggled at the start of the season, but came into his own as the season went on. So I just feel like to start your first season in the Premier League, not in the best way, but then to turn it around is spectacular. He was a very big part why City won the league title. And like I said, Udogie, while Gvardiol went from an okay start to the season to being amazing in the second half of the season, Udogie was amazing in the first half of the season, but during as the season continued, his performance he got a bit, like I said, Udogie's been great, but he kind of fell off after a very good first half of the season. So I have to edge past Josko Gvardiol. As for right back, it was between the three English right backs of the three. It was between the three England right backs of Kyle Walker, Ben White, and Trent Arnold. I instantly got rid of Trent due to injuries, and then I was left with a choice between Ben White and Kyle Walker, and I edged it to Ben White because I think this season has been Ben White's best season, not just for Arsenal, but in the Premier League. I think his best season in the Premier League has come this season. Walker, however, for me, I think has had better seasons in previous years. Has had better seasons in previous years. So I've just edged Ben White at right back. As for the centre-back pairing is so obvious. On the left-hand side, at left centre-back, I have the French stalwart of the Arsenal defence, William Saliba, and the best centre-back in the world on his day, Virgil van Dijk. There's no need to explain why I've chosen them. There is no need to explain why I've chosen them. They need no introduction. They've been the two, other than Gabriel, they've been the two best centre-backs in the league season. I am going to give some more mentions to people like Ezri Konsa, who's been very good for Aston Villa. Van der Ven, who's had a very good first season at Tottenham. Gabriel, obviously, like I said, Gabriel has been really good. But Saliba and Van Dijk have been an edge above everyone else. Now, in a midfield for a team like the team of the season, for a midfield in a team like team of the season, there's two options. There's three options. Three flat eights, two centre mids and a attacking mid. One DM, one centre mid, 10. Or two DMs and a 10 or an 8. I have gone with two DMs and an 8. And a 10, which is not great. Which you'd be like, really, Jonah? You're doing that? You sure? Yes, I decided to go with a 4-3-3 but I decided I couldn't choose between Rodri and Declan Rice. So I've got both of them in a DM in both, I've got both of them in DM roles. Rodri will sit in, and if this team were to play in real life, Rodri would sit in front of the back four, which would allow Declan Rice to bomb up alongside Foden and join the attack. Speaking of, and I just said Foden because Foden is my cam. I've got a midfield three of Declan Rice and Rodri as holding midfielders, with Declan Rice having the ability to go forward when Rodri is sitting in front of the back four. And then Foden, no need for an introduction. He won FWA Writers Player of the Season award. He won the Premier League Player of the Season award. He's won his 6th Premier League title in 7 seasons. His fourth in a row. He's 23. He's already won a treble. He's been one of the best players, period. Not just in the Premier League, but also possibly in the world. And I think he makes this midfield decently balanced. I feel like you've got Rodri and Rice as sixes. Rodri who will stay a 6, but Declan Rice who can become an 8, and then you have Foden just ahead of them in the 10 role. So when Declan Rice does move into the 8, you have a DM in Rodri, an 8 in Declan Rice, and a 10 in Phil Foden. So that's my midfield. As for the attack, this was hard because as for midfield, honorable mentions, Douglas Luiz. João Palhinha still had a good season. Odegaard has been very good. Yeah, Odegaard's been very good. So yeah, overall, not a bad group of midfielders, and not a bad midfield for my team this season if I do see so myself. But like I said, front three. Front three was hard because on the right, I had 4 players I was debating in this attack: Ollie Watkins, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, and Mo Salah. And I decided I would only pick 2. And in the end, the 2 out of those 4 that I picked are Cole Palmer, Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka. I've got Cole Palmer as the left wing, and I've got Saka as the right wing in behind Erling Haaland. So that is my Premier League team of the season for the 23-24 season. Martinez and Gar, back 4 of Gvardiol at left back, Ben White at right back, and a centre back pairing of Van Dijk and Saliba. A midfield 3 of Rodri, Rice and Foden, and a front 3 of Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland and Bukayo Saka. So that is, like I said, my 2023-2024 Premier League team of the season. We're on to the second part of the episode, and the second part of the episode is my end of season awards. Now this is hard. Because I had lots of categories, like I said. I'm going for the categories again. I have categories. I have best player, best young player, manager of the season, signing of the season, underachievers, overachievers, game of the season, best performance, worst performance, personal favourite goal of the season, best goal of the season, personal favourite goal of the season, best comeback, and unsung hero. Unsung hero, and also best team performance. Those are my awards, and we're going to start with the 2 big ones. Up first is best player and best young player. There was many options for both. There was many options for best player. There's many options for best young player. But in the end, I did go with the exact same duo that won these awards, who actually won the Premier League award. This award that was given to them, that was given to them by the Premier League, and that is best player being Phil Foden, who's been one of the best players in Europe, period, and best young player, Carl Palmer. I don't think I need to give much reasoning behind that. They've been two of the best players in the world. They've been the two best players. Foden's been the best player this season. Palmer's been the best young player this season. Next up is manager of the season. Now this was hard because there's loads of people. There's Iraola, Sean Dyche, Gary O'Neill, Jurgen Klopp, Mikel Arteta, Pep Guardiola, Unai Emery. When deciding on my manager of the season, I got rid of Klopp. Didn't win anything. Didn't have the best send off. Didn't go Arteta. Didn't win a single trophy. I got rid of Iraola and Gary O'Neill because yes, they've done great jobs with Wolves and with Bournemouth and Wolves respectively. I feel like the three that I have ahead of them deserve more credit for what they've done. Up first, we're going to talk about each of these, the three that I'm just about. The next thing I'm going to tell you who the three managers are, who my top three managers for manager of the season. I'll tell you who my three nominees. We're now going to go through my three nominees for manager of the season, and I'm going to tell you why I chose them, and why they're my top three nominees. So in third place for me in terms of manager of the season is Everton's manager, big old Sean Dyche. The reason why Sean Dyche is in my top three, he kept an Everton team up that got a points deduction, and he kept them up comfortably in 15th. It's kind of crazy, but he did well with what he had. A points deduction, and he still survived. So he's my third. He's in third place for manager of the season. Second place for manager of the season is between Man City's Pep Guardiola and Aston Villa's Unai Emery. And in the end, I went with, in second place, Unai Emery. You may be thinking, Johnny, you're a City. Some of you who know me may be thinking, Johnny, you're a City fan. You're being biased. Unai Emery is in second place. Because yes, he did surprise everyone and qualify and help and took Villa to Champions League qualification, but I can just not ignore the fact that Pep Guardiola has broken a record that's never been set. A record that's never been set. At the start of the season, City put up, halfway through the season, City put someone at City at the Etihad Stadium put up on one of the walls, no team has ever won 4 Premier League titles in a row yet. And when we did win 4 titles in a row, it said no Premier League team has won 4 titles in a row until now. And it's just Unai has had a great season, don't get me wrong. To take Villa from relegation threatened to Champions League qualified is great, but I cannot ignore the fact that Man City and Pep won 4 in a row and created literal history. So, into first place, Pep Guardiola is my manager of the season. Not biased, I just can't ignore the fact that he won he won his 4th title in a row, and did something that no other manager and has done something and has helped Man City do something that no other team has ever done. And then up next is signing of the season. I had two people in my signing. I had two main nominees for signing of the season. Oscar Gvardiol for the way he ended the season, and Carl Palmer for the incredible season he had. And I couldn't choose between them. I struggled to choose between them, but I gave it to Carl Palmer. I'm giving it. On the document that I have that I got all these awards, got all my award winners on. Has under the signing of the season, I have both the names of Cole Palmer and Oscar Gvardiol, and I haven't decided yet. I hadn't decided before this video who I thought was signing of the season. I'm gonna edit to Cole Palmer just because his whole season was incredible. Next up, we have under and overachievers. Underachievers, Man United, their worst ever season in Premier League history. Embarrassing. United should be ashamed of themselves, and that's why they're underachievers. And overachievers, Aston Villa. Man United were underachievers for bad reasons. Villa are overachievers because of good reasons. To get Champions League, for you to get Champions League 2 seasons after you were close to relegation is incredible. And yes, a lot of that goes down to Unai Emery, but the players have played a very big part too. Next up, we have game of the season. Now, loads of people, and no surprise that this is the case, but loads of people have, whenever they've been asked, what's been the best game this season? Everyone says Man City 4, Chelsea 4 at Stamford Bridge. And I totally get why they would say that, because that was a very good game. I decided, when I went signing game of the season, I wanted to go something different. So I have gone for Bournemouth's comeback win against Luton at Kenilworth Road, where they were 3-0 down at half time and ended up winning the game 4-3, and became the team to win a game with the biggest of the. I'm trying to phrase this. Bournemouth became the first team to come back in the Premier League. Bournemouth became the first team in Premier League history to come back and win from 3-0 down. And because of that, and because of how crazy of a game it was, I think Luton 3, Bournemouth 4 is another good option for game of the season. And because I wanted to go different, I've gone Luton 3, Bournemouth 4. I'm also going to mention a lot of other games. I'm going to mention Luton Arsenal, Chelsea Man United, and then loads of others. So yeah, it was hard. It was tough. It was tough not to go Chelsea 4, Man City 4 at Stamford Bridge. But I wanted to be different, so I went Luton 3, Bournemouth 4, at Kenilworth Road. Next up is best performance, which goes to one player. And that is Phil Foden. Phil Foden, throughout the season, has had some really good performances. But when you're talking about Foden and you're saying, what's his best performance? It's hard to pick, because the winner, the player that's winning, in my opinion, the player winning best performance is Phil Foden for three of his performances this season. Man United at the Etihad, 3-1, where City went 1-0 down and ended up winning 3-1 thanks to 2 Foden goals. We have Aston Villa 4-1 at the Etihad, where Foden scored a wonderful hat-trick, and Brentford 3-1 at the Brentford Community Stadium, where he again scored a very good hat-trick. So those, I had to give best performance to Phil Foden, but I couldn't decide which one. So I've picked Man United 3-1 at the Etihad, Aston Villa 4-1 at the Etihad, and Brentford 3-1 at the Brentford Community Stadium. Next up, worst performance. This is, just like with Foden, I'm kind of cheating because my winner, in my opinion, for worst performance is Ten Hag throughout the whole freaking season, from start to finish. Not one game. His whole season from start to finish has been an absolute joke, and he easily has had the worst performance this season. Goal of the season, we're going to go for this very quickly. Best goal of the season, is Garnacho versus Everton, the overhead kick. And there's no debate. It's one of the greatest goals in the previous. It's one of the best goals in the last 3 or 4 seasons. So there's no doubt about it. There has to be that. And then everyone has their favourites. When it comes to movies and TV shows, everyone has their favourite movie. Everyone has favourite movies. Everyone has favourite TV shows. That's the same with football. And everyone knows that different people have different favourite things. Some people, food. Some people, pizza, pasta, chocolate cake, pancakes, sushi, Chinese, something from a Chinese takeaway. Everyone has something that they consider a favourite of theirs. So I had to come up with an award that rewards favourite something. So I came up with an award that's goal of the season, but instead of it being which is the best goal, which is my personal favourite goal of the season. This is the goal. This is the best goal. This is personal favourite goal of the season is basically, when I say personal favourite goal of the season, it doesn't mean the best goal this season, because that's Garnacho against Everton. That means the best goal that's a personal favourite. My personal favourite goal of the season, the best goal that is my favourite goal this season was Phil Foden's wonder strike against Man United in a 3-1 win that levelled the game at 1-1 after Man United took the lead through Marcus Rashford. So yeah, that's my personal favourite goal of the season. And then, finally, we've got 3 more awards. The third to last award is Best Comeback. This can be a team comeback. So it could be you're 2-0 down and you end up winning 4-2. But it can be a comeback from injury, or a comeback from suspension, or a comeback from a ban. My winner for the best comeback award goes to Kevin De Bruyne's first game back from injury against Newcastle, where he came on when City were 2-1 down at St James's Park, and minutes later scored the equaliser from outside the box, and then at the very end of the game assisted the winning goal to win the game for City 3-2. That was scored by, the goal was the goal that was scored by for Oscar Bob, an assist for Oscar Bob's winning goal that won the game for Man City at St James's Park by 3-2. So that's my that's my winner for best comeback. My unsung hero award goes to one of the most underrated players of the last 5-6 years, of the last 3-4 years. And even though lots of pundits have praised this guy over the years, I've not heard many football fans praise this guy over the years. And honestly, I think deep down he's been top 5. He's probably been one of our. He's been the team that he plays for. He's probably been one of the best for the team he plays for. My unsung hero award may be a bit biased, but my unsung hero, my winner for this award may be a bit biased, but because my unsung hero award for the 2023-2024 Premier League season is our Man City's Portuguese magician, Bernardo Silva. Pundits talk about him all the time. However, fans don't talk about him enough. So that's why Bernardo Silva is my unsung hero for this season. Just gone. And final award of the night, final award in this video is the best team performance, and this goes to the mighty Man City for their performance on the final day of this season against West Ham that clinched us our 4th Premier League title. Anyway, that was my awards, my end of season awards for best player, best young player, manager of the season, signing of the season, underachievers, overachievers, game of the season, best performance, worst performance, personal favourite goal of the season, best goal of the season, personal favourite goal of the season, best comeback, unsung hero, and best team performance. Please put down your end of season awards. Put down your end of season award winners in the comment section below, and also put in your team of seasons in the comment sections below. Next up is the big one. It's grading every team's Premier League season. We're using a grading system from F-, which is the worst, to A+ being the best. Because I don't want this video to go on for too long, we're going to quickly go through them. So we're going to go team by team, and I've provided explanations on why I've given each specific team the specific grade that I gave them. So first up, we're going to go through these very quickly. We're going to start from bottom to top. Starting at the bottom is Sheffield United, who I gave an E. And my reasoning for giving them an E was this. Every team has expectations, and Sheffield United's expectations weren't that high because everyone expected them to get relegated. And despite conceding the most goals in a Premier League season, I can't give them an F because of expectations. So for me, they get an E. In 19th was Burnley. I gave them an E+, because I, just like many other people, predicted Burnley to survive, and they didn't. So I had to give them an E+. Burnley's grade is one higher than Sheffield United because of their better performances over the season. In 18th, Luton. I gave Luton a D because I've given Luton a D because no one expected them to have a shout of survival, and they did it until finally getting relegated on the final day. Extra point, just to mention, I was one of the rare people that got Luton's position in the table absolutely spot on. and I'm very happy about that. In 17th was obviously Forest. I gave them an E+, because Nottingham Forest should be doing much better than 17th, and yes, they had a points deduction, and yes, they had some really bad decisions go against them. 3 big penalty shouts waved away against Everton, the most recognisable example, but they should still be doing better. Because of this, I've given them an E+. Brentford in 16th, I gave an E-, because Brentford are a club who should be finishing higher than 16th. In 15th was Everton. I gave Everton a B-, because Everton have done so well this season, despite the points deduction and having been involved in a relegation battle for the past few years, and I have been really impressed with them. They also beat Liverpool, which not many teams have been able to do. Which not many teams have been able to do. In 14th, Wolves, I gave a B. In 13th, Fulham, I gave a C. And in 12th, Bournemouth, I gave a B. I gave Wolves a B- because Wolves have been much better than I thought they would be. I've given Fulham a C. I had Wolves to get relegated, so they did much better than I thought they would be. Fulham, I gave a C- due to them having a very disappointing season, and I gave Bournemouth a B- due to them having their best season in the Premier League by a distance. In 12th was Brighton. I gave them a C, and I gave Palace in 10th an A. I gave Brighton in 12th a C because they've not been at their best level this season and deserved to finish where they finished. And Palace, I gave an A because after a pretty bad start, they turned their season around and looked really impressive under new manager Oliver Glasner. In 9th was West Ham. I gave them a C. Compared to last season, West Ham have done worse, and that's why David Moyes left. Let's hope they do better next season under Julian Lopetegui.